Zags have won 5 in a row, undefeated in true road games this year at 5-0 mark. And you take a look at their last win against the Seattle U Redhawks. Lisa Fortier, 300 career wins as head coach for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Think of all that she's done, perennial powerhouse, 10 20-plus win seasons in her 11 full tries. That's as good as it gets for the Bulldogs. For the Broncos, they've won 6 of 7, but they gave a season high 92 in a loss at LMU the other day. Yeah,
so Santa Clara looking to bounce back here this afternoon as we take a look at the starting lineups today. The starting lineup sponsored by West Coast Sports Institute for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, winners of 5 straight and off to a perfect 3-0 start in WCC play. They're led by their outstanding redshirt freshman forward, Lauren Whittaker, the leading scorer in the conference, also #1 in rebounding. Their sophomore point guard, Allie Turner, also off to a great start this year.
One of the most underrated dynamic duos on the West Coast. You see the footnote on screen. Ines Betancourt back in the starting lineup, missed the last game against the Redhawks with an illness. She's back in full go, and Whittaker already broke a Gonzaga freshman record, 7 double-doubles on the season.
Familiar starting 5 for the Santa Clara Broncos at 2-1 in conference play. Sophie Glancy, their leading scorer, off of a very efficient 20-point game in that loss at LMU, in 9 of 11 from the floor. Jones, Hawkins, Fox, and Schmidt, the other starters for Santa Clara. This is the only regular season meeting between the Broncos and the Zags here this year. Gonzaga won both matchups a season ago. And here we go from the Levy Center. A big one here in the WCC. Gonzaga trying to stay unbeaten in conference play. They won both of the head-to-head matchups with Santa Clara a year ago. And we get a late whistle on a block attempt from Ava Schmidt. And a foul on Schmidt will send Gonzaga to the free throw line.
It was Taylor Smith off the bounce, and when Gonzaga looking at their season at this point, Turner and Whittaker have been far and away the most consistent players. It's been about the secondary scoring. Who can pick up the slack? Taylor Smith with a nice first possession.
Gonzaga got off to a 3-4 start this year. They've already lost 3 home games, which is quite uncharacteristic, but no surprise as conference play is getting started that they're ratcheting things up. And a couple of free throws from Smith give the Zags the early lead.
A former all-first team Big Sky with Weber State, so the more you can get out of someone like that, all the better for it.
Here's Santa Clara's first possession. Maya Jones, the St. Mary's transfer, gives it up to Schmidt. Misses the long 3-point attempt. And Smith with a rebound. These are 2 of the top rebounding teams in the conference. Should be a great matchup in that regard here today. Gonzaga does a lot of their damage from behind the arc. And there's a turnover forced by the Broncos. Jones trying to hit Glancy, quickly ahead, but the pass a little too tall.
Broncos shot 6 of 28 from 3 against LMU. It was a bit of a struggle. Bucks gave up 34 in that fourth quarter, and one of the 5 common opponents these teams share. Gonzaga recently winning in double overtime in the Kennel against the Lions. Broncos couldn't get it done at Gersten Pavilion.
Santa Clara had an 8-point lead late in the third quarter in that matchup. You mentioned how things went in the fourth as we get a corner 3 from Allie Turner. She leads the WCC in made threes and gives the Zags a 5-0 lead.
And that's the last person you can leave open. Broke the single season Gonzaga 3-point record last year with 105 made trays. All WCC first team last year. Can't lose track of her at all.
105 threes in a season.
Is that a lot, Joe? That seems like quite a bit.
Wow.
Broke Brenda Maxwell's record, and she was a sharpshooter over the last few years.
Doing it as a freshman. Here's Schmidt, corner 3. And Glancy fighting for the rebound, gets knocked to the floor. And a Gonzaga foul. It'll be on Whittaker, her first. Last year, these teams played a very competitive game here at the Levy Center. Gonzaga ended up winning by 7. Bulldogs won by 26 when they met in Spokane a season ago. Santa Clara's last win in this series was 3 years ago. As an aggressive move from Kylie Fox gets the Broncos on the board. A good effort from Maya Jones as she comes crashing our way.
Shoot, we could have been taking a charge ourselves, Joe. Our esteemed statistician Mark Rivera making the play.
Gonzaga keeping possession. They have the early 5-2 lead. First quarter action here from the Levy Center. A skip pass into the corner. Mancuso gives it up to Betancourt. Betancourt missing the three. Mancuso pulling down the long rebound. Got a couple of former St. Mary's standouts on the floor. Mancuso and Maya Jones, teammates the last 2 years with the Gales. And that's out of bounds. It'll be a Gonzaga turnover.
You think of you mentioned the star-studded approach from some of those former Gales. I mean, the Bulldogs now have each of the last 2 WCC freshmen of the year, in Turner and Alcuza when she was back in Moraga.
Anaya Hooker and Delaney Miller. First off the bench for Santa Clara today. Here's Glancy open for 3.
Good use of leverage there from Ashley Hawkins. Draw the extra defender. Eventually get Glancy on the wraparound there. Saw her make a couple threes against Seattle U. Starting to get a little bit better from beyond the arc.
Her 9th made 3 of the season. Santa Clara's leading scorer at 16 points per game. Ties this one at 5. Broncos trying to clamp down defensively. Here's a wing 3, and it rattles out from Alcuso. Good ball movement, corner 3, and a miss from Fox. Had a good look. Santa Clara 1 of 4 from 3-point range early. 6.5 to go in this first quarter, tied at 5. The cutting Whittaker underneath, and her first points. The leading scorer in the conference at 19 a game.
And it was all because of that seal she had on the post. Used the leverage against Sophie Glancy, and while that pass was a little bit too hot to handle, found a way to recover it and eventually use that leverage to her advantage.
Ashley Hawkins running the point for Santa Clara, throws it out near midcourt. Still 15 on the shot clock. Here's Anaya Hooker. And Hooker, terrific footwork. Finishes.
Hooker getting a little bit nifty, known for her defense, finding a way to make it happen when there's lots of traffic in the paint.
She's really found her scoring stroke of late. Season high 14 against Seattle U 2 games ago, and then had 11 more against LMU. And Santa Clara forcing a 5-second call.
34 Tyler Gildersleeve-Styles.
Gonzaga now will go to their bench for the first time. Jaden Hale, Taryn Gardner are both in. Tyler Gildersleeve-Styles, one of the Santa Clara freshmen, now in off the bench. Tied at 7. Broncos 3 of 6 from the floor here early. Hawkins threw some contact, and she's bumped. Will draw the foul.
Here you get Allie Turner for leaning on her backside there. So both Whittaker and Turner with a foul apiece for the Zag.
Santa Clara 12-4 overall. All 12 of their wins have come by double figures. 2-1 in conference play. Hawkins trying to get creative, missed the shot. It's out of bounds. It'll go back to Gonzaga. Gonzaga, the regular season champs in the conference a season ago, knocked off in the conference tourney. Had to settle for a WBIT bid. Looking to get back to the NCAA tournament this year. Underneath, it's Hale, has the shot blocked. A loose ball. Gardner picks it up, getting swarmed by Santa Clara defenders, and that's a 3-second call.
Gardner's teammates kind of left her out to dry on that one. She was one waiting and scrapping for that rebound amidst a flurry of Broncos, and the rest of her Zag teammates are back the other way, waiting to get on defense.
Jones back in for the Broncos. Kate Schott, freshman guard, also has checked in. Santa Clara has used 9 players already in this first quarter.
More than they used against LMU. Schott did not see the floor in an 8-person rotation last game.
Here's Schott. Missed the 3. Rebound tapped, and we're going to get an over-the-back call on Delaney Miller. That will bring us to our first timeout. Competitive start here on this Sunday afternoon in Santa Clara. Broncos and Gonzaga tied at 7. First quarter here in Santa Clara. Be sure to join us later this afternoon. The Bronco men host University of San Diego at 4 p.m. right here on ESPN+. Broncos head coach Lori Payne, her first season. Santa Clara off to that 12-4 start, the highest scoring team right now in the WCC.
They play with such good pace, and you think about those 10 non-conference wins that Payne had recently, the most by a first-year Santa Clara head coach, at doing a good job of imprinting her identity into this fast approach.
Santa Clara averages 82 points per game, and there's that Anaya Hooker defense forcing the deflection and the turnover.
And Ines Betancourt is incredulous at the fact that that call was that it was tipped off of her, but Hooker really got all up in her grill, didn't really allow Betancourt to get comfortable going down the court.
26 steals for Anaya Hooker, leading this Santa Clara team. That's fifth most in the WCC.
And that's 5 Gonzaga turnovers in 5 minutes, so a mark that's going to have to come down for Lisa Fortier.
The turnovers have been a bit of an issue this year for Gonzaga. They average about 18 per game. As Ava Schmidt has that shot knocked out of bounds. Give the ball here to Gonzaga with 4:23 left in this first quarter. Zags have gone over 2 minutes without scoring. They're 2 of 6 from the floor here in the early going. Gardner gives it up. This is Dalen, number 22 in the game now for the first time. Here's Turner trying to create. Shot clock winding down, suffocating Santa Clara defense. And as the shot clock expires, that shot off the top of the backboard from Hale. What a sequence for Santa Clara defensively.
That's going to fire up the Bronco bench, and rightfully so. I look at defensive coordinator TJ Harris up on his feet, clapping exactly what they want. And if you think of it, Joe, Santa Clara, high scoring offense in the WCC, but their defense has really carried them throughout points in this season when the shots haven't been falling.
Santa Clara does have the second lowest opponent's field goal percentage in the conference. Trying to take their first lead of the day. Here's Hooker, missed, but the putback from Sophie Glancy. She's got 5.
And beat that mismatch. Allie Turner, the one trying to box out Glancy. It should be a post player for the Zags underneath, but somehow that miscommunication allowed the Broncos to get that second chance and take advantage.
Glancy with 5 of the 9 Santa Clara points. Broncos up by 2. And we're going to get a Santa Clara foul. This will be on Maya Jones, her first.
At face value, not a whole lot there, but Jones did kind of lurch out her quad a little bit, and that's all it takes. Even in such an innocent fall like that from Betancourt, you're just going to see that you move from point A to B.
Whittaker back on the floor for Gonzaga. She's got 2 early points and a foul. Over 3 minutes now without scoring for the Bulldogs. Santa Clara, a 2-point lead. There's Allie Turner, the outstanding sophomore point guard. Hooker got a hand in there. It's deflected out of bounds, and it'll go to the Broncos.
Anaya Hooker, once again, finding a way to make something happen in the lane. That's 2 possessions now where she's made a defensive stand. Really not letting Gonzaga really get a shot off.
Well, this is probably one that she had circled. Again, an outstanding defender. She gets to go up against one of the top point guards really in the country. Ava Schmidt tried that little baseline shot, but missed it well short. There's another pass deflected out of bounds.
And almost another charge taken by us. Ashley Hawkins getting right up into the scorer's table grill.
Be ready over here.
30, Kylie Fox returns to the Bronco lineup for Anaya Hooker.
Right, great shift there from Anaya Hooker, getting all the praise from her teammates right there. Keeping the lid on the Zags offense.
A struggle here offensively for the Zags, although only down by 2. Whittaker leaves it for Turner. Another 3-second call. That's 2 of those we've seen now. That'll make it 7 Gonzaga turnovers. That's not going to make Lisa Fortier happy. Her 12th season at the helm here at Spokane.
The one and the only Lisa Fortier. And you think of her staff, husband Craig, Stacy Kleinsmith, Jordan Green, just one of 3 staffs that have stayed intact for 12 plus years. The other 2 being Iowa State and UConn, so not too shabby of that company to be in.
20 win seasons in 10 of her first 11 years.
It's as consistent as it gets. I mean, this is something you have to appreciate. In that 300th win that she had up at Seattle U, tied Kim Mulkey for the fastest of 300 wins among active D1 head coaches in their 379th game. Not too bad.
Incredible. Free throws here for Glancy. Foul was on Taylor Smith, her first. Glancy, an 84% foul shooter. She's got 7 points and 4 rebounds in this first quarter, leading the way for Santa Clara as the Broncos, with their largest lead now, up by 4. Little pressure here on the Santa Clara side. Gonzaga able to break it, but the 3-point attempt long. Putback misses. There's Whittaker underneath, and she'll go to the line. Third opportunity on that possession for Gonzaga, and a foul on Sophie Glancy will be her first.
Yeah, it's a rebounding sequence the Broncos are going to want back. Look where Whittaker is from this specific shot right here. She should not be getting this on the far side. Someone's got to find a way to crash down a little bit more. And Whittaker taking advantage of that space and getting herself to the line.
That ends a 4-minute, 21-second scoring drought for Gonzaga. Whittaker, a 84% free throw shooter, makes them both. Broncos will bring Miller back in, replacing Schmidt. 11-9, the Santa Clara lead. Just outside of 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Broncos at 2-1 in conference play. Wins over San Diego and Seattle. A loss at LMU 2 days ago. What a great move there from Sophie Glancy.
She's coming ready to play. Only played 23 minutes at LMU. Is getting worked around the bench. Lots of stretching and flexing the other day. So to come out with 9 early points on great efficiency, doing a nice job.
Gonzaga with that 3-0 start. Wins over LMU, Pepperdine, and Seattle last time out. Get another second chance opportunity here.
5-0 boards already for the Zags. Gang rebounding has to be a theme for the Broncos going forward.
Whittaker puts it on the floor, drops it off for Smith. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Whittaker underneath, and sandwiching in between a couple of Santa Clara defenders, gets one to go.
And here's the thing, with a minute and change left in this quarter, Gonzaga's only made 3 shots from the field, but look at that volume that they've had on these second chances. That adds up over the course of time.
Glancy again for Santa Clara.
Boy, she's come to play. First one in double figures, game high 12 points, outscoring the Zags as a team here in the first quarter.
4 of 4 from the floor, 2 of 2 from 3-point range. As efficient as it gets, and 12 first quarter points for Sophie Glancy. Turner's open, a deep 3. There's an answer.
And a nice answer there from Turner, sorely needed, and took advantage of the Broncos' miscommunication on defense. Glancy hedged out, and then no one came back to recover as Fox was matched up with Whittaker.
Broncos can hold it for the final shot of the quarter here. They have a 2-point lead. They've led by as many as 5. Ashley Hawkins letting that clock wind down. Now 10 seconds remaining. Hawkins still with it. 6 seconds. Here's Fox. Wing 3. Perfect. Kylie Fox hits the triple, and that ends the first quarter. Raining threes in that last minute. And after 1 here at the Levy Center, it's Santa Clara leading Gonzaga by 5. Broncos leading the Bulldogs by 5 after 1 quarter here in Santa Clara. As we take a look at the upcoming schedules, sponsored by Heffernan Insurance. Broncos have back-to-back road games coming up next. Short trip to San Francisco, and then a much longer trip to Eastern Washington.
Not so easy. Look at, and even that sandwiched home game against Portland, you know what the Pilots can do with that full court press, and never really a night you can take off in the West Coast Conference nowadays.
Gonzaga's got 3 straight home games coming up next: Portland, San Francisco, and San Diego.
And then that one at the bottom, everyone's got their eyes on that one. That could be a fight for some seeding in regards to starting on Monday in the conference tournament between Gonzaga and Oregon State.
Gonzaga and Oregon State off to 3-0 starts. Cuso there whistled for her first foul as we get this second quarter underway. Santa Clara 47% from the floor, had 3 of 7 from three-point range in that first quarter. Here's Ashley Hawkins missing it high off the window, and a fight for the rebound. Gonzaga controls.
That's a tough shot for Hawkins to take, especially around the angle. Alcuzo did a good job of just sitting down in her defensive stance and forcing a tough shot without fouling.
Gonzaga shot it at just 33% in the first quarter, but there's nice offense. And the first points for Betancourt. Kylie Fox answers for Santa Clara.
And the Zags got the mark a little bit better in transition right there. Kylie Fox really just ran unabated to the rim off that pass.
Fox with 7, 3 of 4 shooting. Whitaker with 2 players around her, gets it to go, plus a foul.
Again, Ashley Hawkins on that, and a nice finish through the contact from Whitaker. I mean, such a size mismatch trying to get around the initial part of Hawkins. Glancy too late to get on the help defense. Get another look at it right there. You see on the roll, Hawkins already in a precarious position, up and under, just splitting the elevator doors right there.
Whitaker 19 points, just under 10 rebounds per game on average.
And I know it's hard to replace Yvonne Ejim, but I mean, Lauren Whitaker doing a nice job coming off a redshirt season. Already won 5 WCC Freshman of the Week awards.
Hawkins trying to hit Glancy and a kicked ball. Reset the shot clock to 20. Santa Clara up by 2 early second quarter. Hawkins will inbound on the baseline. Maya Jones is yet to score for Santa Clara as that shot blocked out of bounds.
And Betancourt meeting Maya Jones at the summit right there. Nice, really just get up, nice verticality, nice block, and continuation.
Only 3 players have scored for the Broncos. Glancy, Fox, and Hooker. And how about a 4th now? Maya Jones is on the board.
So it's almost as if he willed that one into existence, more or less.
That just felt a little unusual. Santa Clara known for such great balance. All 5 Broncos scorers average in double figures. Hawkins poking that one into the backcourt. Still 10 to shoot here for Gonzaga. Cuso trying to create. Missed the pull-up, but an offensive rebound, another miss. Hale couldn't get it to go. Broncos basketball up by 4. Hooker inside the arc. Missed it off to the side, and a rebound corralled by Julia Wilson. Wilson, number 3, freshman guard in for Gonzaga. More than 2 minutes gone by here in this second quarter. And a pretty finish from Betancourt. All 4 of her points have come in this second quarter. Gonzaga has been led by Whitaker's 9. Clancy with 12 on the Santa Clara side, leading all scorers. Fox is going to take a deep 3. Kylie Fox. How about that one?
Took the jab step and said hand down, man down. Kylie Fox making the Zag defense pay. She's up to double figures with 10 points.
Fox averaging 14 a game in her last 7. Been on a nice run here of late for Santa Clara. And an errant pass will give it back to the Broncos.
And then you talk about what Fox brought to the table. Glancy and Fox have combined for 22 of Santa Clara's 26 points to this point. I mean, shooting that from VR and Levy Center.
Wow. Good 5 feet behind that 3-point line. Kylie Fox, a 38% 3-point shooter, one of the best in this conference.
23 and 33 confused me after the fact.
There's Miller at the elbow, puts it on the deck. Couldn't get the left-handed runner to go. Gonzaga basketball. Santa Clara's up 5, matching their largest lead of the day. suffocating defense, but a foul is going to be called. A little too aggressive there from Anaya Hooker, her first.
There's been a lot of physicality in this game going both ways. Lots of hands, lots of double teams kind of trying to fight through the contact. So far, officials letting them play, but as we've all seen in this day and age of college basketball, half to half, that may not stay the same.
No one in foul trouble yet on either side. Hooker again wreaking havoc. Ball's on the floor. Hawkins gets it to Miller. Miller quickly ahead to Fox, as she gets slammed to the ground by Hale.
Santa Clara bench clamoring that Fox was whacked in the face. I didn't get a good look personally as to whether Hale actually did. Get another look at it here, and obviously it's the motion more than anything that sticks out. I don't hate that no call, to be honest.
Physical game. Santa Clara still with almost a full shot clock here. Hawkins around the screen, probing. Hawkins still with it and trying to shoot it over the double team, has it blocked. Ashley Hawkins has yet to score, although she does have 5 assists already in this first half for the Broncos. Here's Wilson, missing that shot long. Rebound pulled down by Hooker. Maybe a 3-on-2 developing. Here's Ashley Hawkins for 3.
Once again, Joe Rizzo right on cue. First with Maya Jones, now Ashley Hawkins as Hooker gets called for riding Alcuzo too hard down the court.
That is a big call because that is the second foul on Hooker.
Yeah, and while she's already got 3 stocks, 2 steals, 1 block, and beyond the stat, really doing more than even what that stat sheet shows.
So she's going to go to the bench. Fox will as well as Jones and Schott back in.
Yeah, but the one thing the Zags really need to continue to hone in on is they're doubling up the Broncos and rebounding. 16-8, already with 6 0 boards. Even with these shots not falling, find a way to continue to crack the glass. Right now, a missed shot is some of their best offense.
Gonzaga at only 39% from the floor, but that'll go up. As Alcuzo with her first points.
And that's at her best right there. She does a good job getting downhill, showed that at St. Mary's.
Here's Maya Jones. Quick release on the 3, missed it short. Broncos by 6, 5.5 to go in this second quarter. Gonzaga swinging it. Now a cutting Smith, missed it short, had a good look. Hawkins, nobody picks her up. Had a good look at a 3, but missed. Quickly back the other way. Turner will pull up. She'll try the 3. Missed it long. And a whistle on the rebound. And this will be a foul on Santa Clara. It'll be on Hawkins.
That's number 2 on her, so one of the first Broncos in foul trouble now. And you got Hooker already dealing with it with Hooker. Dilemma for Lori Payne.
So Hooker's going to come back in for Hawkins. Yeah, Hooker will play with those 2 fouls. Six-point Santa Clara lead. Now at the halfway point of this second quarter.
The Zags have a mismatch with Taylor Smith. They can get her the ball. We've got Kate Schott on her.
Turner still with a dribble. Great defense from Kate Schott. And it's going to be another shot clock violation.
Brock's been doing a good job flying in rotation, nabbing those deflections, steals, blocks, really not allowing Gonzaga to get clean shots off on a consistent basis. Broncos
have forced 10 first half turnovers. We'll take a break. 4:45 until halftime. Santa Clara's up 6. Of Santa Clara Athletics. And by Lux Bus America, covering more ground in more places. Joe Rizzo, Thomas Dunn back with you here from the Levy Center. Broncos have a 29-23 lead over Gonzaga. Sophie Glancy and Kylie Fox have combined to score 22 of those 29 Santa Clara points. And out of the timeout, it'll be Broncos basketball. Here's Kate Schott. She'll try the 3. A miss and a rebound controlled underneath by Dalen. Gonzaga plus 12 in the rebounding margin. They've been hurt by 10 first half turnovers. Santa Clara has only turned it over twice.
So much so that Paige Loafing in for her first action, a freshman out of Montana.
Wearing number 1, freshman point guard. Late clock situation again. Here's Gardner, she's got to go. I'm going to call that another shot clock violation. That's 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos are doing a good job of playing in a frenzy on defense, not really allowing Gonzaga, for the most part, to get as much free space as they want.
Really been the story of this first half, Santa Clara's defensive effort. 3:45 until halftime.
Gonzaga's now playing his own defense, trying to corral the Broncos. Only 9th in the conference in three-point percentage.
Well, they do force a rare Santa Clara turnover. Smith with a steal in transition, and a 3 from Loafing.
Exactly what you want to see if you're Lisa Fortier. Get your freshman out on the floor, shooting 44% from beyond the arc this year.
And an answer, Maya Jones.
Now, this is what we're accustomed to seeing from both teams. Free-flowing offense, no wasted movements, getting out in transition and making things happen.
First 3 for Jones. He's made the second most threes in the conference, behind only Gonzaga's Allie Turner. The Bulldogs miss. Here comes Santa Clara, up 6 with the basketball. Here's Hooker by the defender, and it rolls off. Turner back the other way. An entry pass underneath, and a basket for Dalen.
Without Whittaker on the floor, you got to find a way to continue to get as much as you can in the paint, as much as possible, and Dalen taking advantage there.
32-28, the Santa Clara lead. 2.5 left. Hooker, and a reach-in foul.
Gardner had the right idea there, trying over and trapping Hooker in that bubble of space with just too much contact there. Look at the Broncos, they got 14 fouls. That was only their second team foul of the quarter.
So it'll be Santa Clara basketball. Hawkins and Hooker both playing with 2 fouls for the Broncos. Riley Fox has hit a couple of threes in this first half, but missed that corner triple. Gonzaga down 4 with the basketball. Whittaker back in there, and a steal. Hawkins comes away with it. Quickly ahead, Maya Jones.
Picture perfect transition offense right there. Good rotation from Hawkins on the defensive end of the floor. Got a steal with the ball going down, and Jones running the floor.
Jones now has 7. Broncos up 6. Their largest lead was 8. They have led much of this game. Again, late clock. Whittaker trying to hit Dalen. It's knocked out of bounds with 2 to shoot.
And they thought it was a turnover. Both Loafing and Whittaker ran down the floor thinking, oh, that's a turnover. We'll catch you on the defensive end of the floor. But the Zags will have less than 2 seconds to get a shot up. Dalen did have a size mismatch in the post, so lots of size Zags can throw out.
Turner's going to enter it in. Going to have to go quickly. Found Betancourt a good look. And a shot that appeared to be partially blocked. Another shot clock violation.
Lisa Fortier clamoring for some help from the officiating in terms of the contact underneath, to no avail.
13 first half turnovers for Gonzaga.
That's going to drive the coaching staff crazy with the way they usually are and how pristine they have been on offense over the years. And that's an unnecessary foul from Alcuzo.
And it's going to be Alcuzo's second. Will be non-shooting, only the 3rd team foul, but that's a Gonzaga starter now in some foul trouble.
And 3 comes in.
1:17 left. Off the inbounds, Hawkins a very deep 3. Missed. Miller tried to throw it off a Gonzaga player, but the ball stayed inbounds. Here's Wilson. She'll kick it out. Gonzaga setting something up. with a minute remaining until halftime. Here's a three-point attempt for Dalen.
That's one of the keys of the game, Joe. We talked about how much secondary offense can Gonzaga get, and right there, McKinley Dalen bringing it within one possession. All things considered, I think you take it if you're the Zags and Lisa Fortier.
Her first made three of the year. She had been 0 of 2. Maya Jones corner three. Broncos have had an answer this entire quarter.
And Maya Jones now the third Bronco in double figures. Both teams going back and forth heavily here in the second quarter.
Santa Clara back up by 6. About a 6-second difference here. Game clock to shot clock. In the corner, Turner. Jones closed in on her. Still 11 to shoot. Good ball movement. Turner will hoist from 3, and that's pure. Third three for Turner. Broncos have time. 5 seconds. Hawkins with it. Hawkins driving. And Gonzaga had a foul to give. And they'll commit it there with 3 seconds left.
I want to shout out that last Zags offensive possession right there. That ball was moving. It was snappy. Betancourt down the lane. The eventual swing pass. Turner did not have a lot of time to get that off, but she does not need time.
3 seconds left. We'll see if the Broncos can get a good shot off here.
We're going to get Cristobal Robo into the game first time. Known as a defensive anchor in the spurts for Lisa Fortier. And guard the inbound.
Lily Jones inbounding here for the Broncos. Gets it into Hawkins. Hawkins making a move. Dumps it off for Clancy at the horn. The Broncos had 3 seconds to work with, and they used all of them. And a beautiful play to end the first half with a bucket. Santa Clara up 5. Santa Clara leads it by 5. Santa Clara leading Gonzaga 39-34 at the half here from the Levy Center. As we take a look at that final shot at the end of the second quarter, officials did go to the monitor just to be sure and confirm that Sophie Glancy did get it off.
Right at the horn, and I wouldn't have blamed Ashley Hawkins had she put up the floater, but very smart play more than anything. Found Glancy right there on the handoff. Glancy 14 first half points.
That was Hawkins' 7th assist as well of that first half. Look now at the WCC standings, sponsored by Lenardi's Markets. Both of these teams playing their 4th game of the conference schedule. Gonzaga along with Oregon State, the 2 unbeaten teams. And then you see Santa Clara right there at 2-1.
You know, we talked about it over the course of the non-conference, what surprised us. I thought, I'm looking now at these first 3 games. St. Mary's had a really good non-conference. They've kind of slipped and kind of been a little bit of a shock from my perspective. LMU, a lot more spunk than I thought they had in the tank. And Portland just continue to do what they do. Just when you think you're ready to write off the Portland Pilots, Michael Meek, even with a young team this year, finding a way to continue to win games. And with the way they press, they're going to be in every game being a thorn in the side of everyone else in the conference.
Yeah, keep an eye on that LMU team. Took Gonzaga to double overtime. Beat Santa Clara 2 days ago. And they are playing excellent basketball here early in the conference season. Some of the highlights of this first half. Things started a little slow offensively on both sides, but then each team able to pick things up late in that first quarter. Santa Clara was up 5 after 1, led by as many as 8. That was right around the midpoint of the second quarter, before taking a 5-point lead into the halftime locker room.
I mean, Lauren Whittaker doing a nice job underneath. Really, it's physical down there. Like, don't get me wrong. It's been a physical game. 9 points, 4 boards, and you're going to see throughout the rest of this highlights packages. Anaya Hooker did a good job on defense, working it towards the offensive end of the floor with Sophie Glancy. Allie Turner just finding that little bit of space towards the end of the second quarter is really starting to unleash this full potential of the Zag offense. Sophie
Glancy had a perfect first half. 5 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 2 from 3-point range, 2 of 2 from the line, 14 points plus 4 rebounds. She leads all scorers. Whittaker and Turner with 9 each. On the Gonzaga side, Turner's coming on 3 3-pointers. Sophie Glancy, really the story of that first half on the Santa Clara side. Kylie Fox with 10, joining her in double figures. Maya Jones added 10, and almost all of those came late in that second quarter.
I mean, the stars have been as advertised. You mentioned what Glancy's done, you mentioned what Whitaker's done, Turner, and then eventually towards the end of that second quarter, a bunch of the role players stepping up. Kylie Fox, you see that, shooting that from Mineta San Jose Airport, finding a way to get that one to go down. Ines Betancourt had some nice takes in the second quarter, and then Lisa Fortier going deeper into her bench over the course of the quarter. Paid dividends. Paige Lofe.
These are two of the top three-point shooting teams on the West Coast, and both as advertised in that first half. Santa Clara 7 out of 16 from distance. Gonzaga was 5 out of 10. Both teams got a few buckets going in transition. And another corner three there from Maya Jones. Every time Gonzaga made a little push, Santa Clara seemed to have an answer in that second quarter. Here at the half, it's the Broncos up by 5. Today's game is brought to you by One Workplace, creating spaces that inspire and transform the way you work. And by Rabbit Office Automation, providing technology for your business. Broncos leading the Zags by 5 here at the half from the Levy Center. Some of the stats from the first half. Santa Clara building this 39-34 lead. Shooting percentages increased a bit through that second quarter. Mentioned how both teams shot it well from three. Notable rebounding advantage for Gonzaga.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to take, I want to take a deeper dive into that rebounding margin, because Zags plus 12 on the glass, as you see on screen, 8 offensive rebounds, and the delineation I want to make is second chance opportunities versus second chance points. Zags have been able to get those offensive boards, but because of all those turnovers, they keep piling it up. They haven't been able to get those shots off to the tune of Santa Clara attempting 6 more shots from the field despite the Zags getting on the offensive glass. If they can harness those second chance opportunities and actually convert them into actual shots, whether they go in or not, and how that eventually takes effect, I kind of want to see how that takes place over the course of the second half, because a plus 12 rebounding margin, I don't think that's sustainable for Santa Clara.
Well, forcing turnovers has helped offset that for the Broncos. 13 first half turnovers and 4 shot clock violations. So defensively, Santa Clara played well.
They did, and then Lisa Fortier is not going to be too pleased with her Zag team in the locker room. 13 first half turnovers. While it has been a thorn in the side, it's just not a part of the standard. And it even dates back to last year when they had some struggles with turnovers with that veteran team. So Gonzaga needs to harness themselves, find a way to continue to execute in the half court more than anything, and take those transition opportunities when they arise. But credit to the Broncos for forcing the issue on a lot of it.
39-34 is the halftime lead. Santa Clara ahead of Gonzaga. Zags trying to stay perfect in conference play. Broncos looking to bounce back from a loss their last time out. We'll have more from the Levy Center next. Today's game is brought to you in part by West Coast Sports Institute, where medicine meets rehab. The Coast to the Court Women's Basketball Series is your all-access pass to West Coast Conference Women's Basketball. We take you inside each program to get to know the coaches and players and learn about the culture of each team. From practice sessions to game day and the community that supports the team, we bring you the stories that define each program. Catch the latest episode on the West Coast Conference YouTube channel at WCC Sports, the Coast to the Court Women's Basketball Series. It's your inside look at your team.
I could confirm that the conference was on campus over the past week to do filming for Santa Clara's episode, and that should be coming out this week. So stay tuned to the West Coast Conference YouTube channel. Really well done series by the conference, getting an inside look at all these programs.
That's a good tease on your part there.
You know, sometimes I can do a thing or two.
Well, we approach the second half. That was a high-level first half between two of these top teams in the WCC. What do you think Gonzaga needs to do here? We mentioned the rebounding margin as they try and pick up what would be a massive road win against a very impressive Santa Clara squad.
I think they need to continue to play inside out, play through Whitaker, help that force Santa Clara to crash in and maybe try and get it back out to Allie Turner, knowing that the Broncos won't. You can try and take away both, but that's going to be hard. And where that starts, don't turn the ball over. 13 first half turnovers, way too much. If Gonzaga can stay around potentially the 18 to 20 mark, I think that would bode very well for the Zags going forward.
Gonzaga, a perfect 5-0 record in true road games. So they've been a team, you know, they had some early season struggles, a little uncharacteristic. They have gotten it done on the road all year long, and we'll see if they can do it again here in this second half. And an excellent play drawn out of the halftime locker room, and a layup for Whittaker.
And that's Gonzaga's offense at its best. No wasted movement. Whittaker, Akuzo, eventually all the way back around. Picture perfect.
Maya Jones had that three-point shot partially blocked by Smith.
Zags had Taylor Smith all the way down the floor, but didn't get it to her.
Transition three. Hit only the bottom of the net there from Betancourt. Had a good look and one of the better shooters on this team.
And Betancourt and Alcuza having a nice laugh with each other down the floor. Like, how did that happen?
Here's Ava Schmidt in front of her bench. Off the mark on a three. Maya Jones in some traffic. Initially had that rebound, lost it. Santa Clara gets it back. But Kylie Fox can't get it to go, and a Gonzaga rebound. Up and down we go here this first minute of the third quarter. Broncos lead it by 3. Turner cut off at the baseline. Kuso thought about it, steps inside the arc, missed it way short. Another Gonzaga offensive rebound though.
It just isn't sustainable for Santa Clara. Like, everybody's gonna have to rebound here. Gonzaga has so much size out on the floor.
Here's the kick out. Zags rotated. The three from Whittaker, a miss. So she can make that shot. One of the better three-point shooters.
Absolutely, she can.
Spinning Glancy, and that's her first miss of the day. Turner pushing. Find it open, Alcuso. She'll get the defender in the air, off the window for 2.
And that's her game at her best. Getting downhill, using Maya Jones' space against her, getting downhill, eventually scoring over Ashley Hawkins.
Gonzaga's within 1. Corner 3, Maya Jones overshot everything. And it's out of bounds to Gonzaga.
And I Hooker back on the Santa Clara lineup for Schmidt.
Broncos are going to get Anaya Hooker back in there. And that was something that worked well for Santa Clara in the first half. Having Hooker on the floor. And the top perimeter defender on this team. There's Hooker again, making things happen defensively, knocking it out of bounds, 16 to shoot.
She added that defensive spunk, and Broncos gonna need more of that. Coming out of the locker room, like, this team defense needs to be connected on all fronts. That goes from the way they go around the screens to the way they secure these defensive rebounds. Gonzaga putting a little bit of pressure on the Broncos in that regard.
Kuso guarded closely by Hawkins. Fall away shot, a miss. Here comes Hawkins. Hawkins going all the way, and free throws coming.
Gonna get Allie Turner on that one, and that is foul number 3 on Allie Turner. So first Zag in real foul trouble now.
First team.
Lisa Fortier has got a decision to make.
Ashley Hawkins at the stripe for your Broncos. Shooting foul, 2 shots.
Hawkins 3 points, 7 assists in this game. 76% free throw shooter for the year. Makes them both. And a 41-38 Santa Clara lead.
And an inbound violation.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Lisa Fortier was given the instructions. Broncos gave that full court press. Turner out on the floor with 3 fouls, but I think Fortier was in the process of moving Turner more off the ball, and boy, it bites the Zags.
Now a quick 3 in the corner. How about that sequence for Santa Clara? Hawkins, or rather Hooker, with a triple.
That's a nightmare for Gonzaga right there. Everything you didn't want to happen, just really lapse in mental focus on both ends.
8th assist for Ashley Hawkins, although Gonzaga gets 2 right back. Taylor Smith.
They needed that to really steady the ship.
Hawkins, an aggressive move. right at Turner with those 3 fouls.
I like that you mentioned that because Turner can only do so much. She doesn't want to pick the 4th one up on a cheap one. Hawkins using that to her advantage.
Here's Alcuso. She's heating up. Broncos push it. Kylie Fox, and a whistle and a foul on Smith.
Up until the last second, it looked like Smith was in solid positioning, but I think just a little bit of a jump at the very end when Fox got up into the shooting motion.
Well, this is Santa Clara basketball going up and down the floor. This is how they want to play.
And over the years, it's definitely showing a way how the Zags have played too, no less. I mean, think of the way they played with Yvonne Ejim, the Trong sisters, and you mentioned the matchup last year, a very close one, and Yvonne Ejim had a 72-game double-digit scoring streak that was snapped here at the Levy Center last year.
It's kind of a shame this is the only meeting of the season between the Broncos and the Zags. Of course, they could end up playing each other in March in a conference tournament.
Can I sign up for that now?
But there will not be a return game in Spokane later here in the conference season as Gonzaga, another turnover.
And Lisa Fortier is talking to Zia Kuzo, just saying, just settle down. Like, don't need to force it like that with the way Broncos are trying to speed them up, and see if the guards can heed that instruction.
Well, there's a little touch foul. It'll be on Smith. That's her 3rd. So Smith and Turner, a couple of Gonzaga starters with 3 fouls each. Smith will exit as Dalen comes in.
Dalen had a solid first half, 7 minutes, but 5 points on 2 or 3 from the floor. See if they can give the Zags a little bit more of that secondary scoring they're looking for.
Hawkins frees herself. Misses the 3. Alcuso the rebound. Santa Clara 8 of 21 from 3-point range. Good aggressive defense from Kylie Fox. Deflects that pass out of bounds. And Gonzaga, they're going to talk things over here. Lisa Fortier calling the timeout. So we'll take it with them with 6:16 remaining in the 3rd. Broncos up by 6. Third quarter action back here in Santa Clara. Gonzaga closed to within a point there momentarily. But a mini spurt for the Broncos. They're back up by 6. Gonzaga calling the timeout. It'll be Zags basketball. Gonzaga led by Whitaker's 11. Clancy with 14 lead the way for Santa Clara. Here's a pass into the corner to Turner. Missed the 3, another offensive rebound. Dalen grabs it. Here's Gardner. Entry pass down to Dalen, and an offensive foul.
Exactly what Anaya Hooker sat in there for. Used the mismatch actually to her advantage on that one, Dalen lowering the shoulder. Get another look at it right there. Yeah, just that little extension at the end. Really was I think it was gonna be a no call until that last little extension. And going back to that timeout from Lisa Fortier, I think it was a good timeout call because while the Zags are only -1 to this point in the period, things were getting a little bit uneasy, just a little bit of instability, especially with those mental lapses on that inbound and eventually corner 3 giving up.
Hawkins putting it on the floor, the runner. And Whitaker a rebound. Whitaker 8 rebounds to go with her 11 points.
On the verge of her 8th double-double this season and continuing to extend what would be that Gonzaga freshman record.
Turner gets Fox in the air, steps inside the arc, buries the long 2.
It's a double-edged sword there. Allie Turner's gravity changes so much. That pump fake, Santa Clara, they should bite on it. I mean, it's a lethal shot.
Miller had it blocked out of bounds. Good Gonzaga defense. Santa Clara keeps possession with 23 to shoot.
And going back to that last possession, like, you can only keep Allie Turner down for so long. There are not going to be many games where the lid is totally on her. So do you want her beating you from beyond the arc, or can you filter into the mid-range? Becomes a dilemma question for the Broncos.
Turner scored a career-high 23 on this floor a season ago. Hawkins way off on the three. Gonzaga basketball, they're down 4. Alcuso guarded by Hooker, forced her to give it up. Fox active hands, knocked that pass away. Zags still with possession. Whitaker into the corner to Turner. Missed the three. Fox crashing the glass, tapped it to Hawkins. Hawkins behind the back, leaves it for Gildersleeve Styles.
A great look there from Ashley Hawkins. Assist number 9 on the afternoon.
Ashley Hawkins, she's closing in on a double-double. 9 assists with those 7 points. And we're going to get a foul here on Kylie Fox. It'll be her first, and it'll bring us to a timeout with 4:21 remaining in the third quarter. Santa Clara leading Gonzaga by 6. Gonzaga Bulldogs putting their perfect conference record on the line here this afternoon. Trying to get over the hump. They've trailed almost the entire day. They're down by 6 here, 4:21 left in the third quarter.
And that rebounding margin has continued to increase in favor of the Zags, now plus 15 on the glass. It's keeping them in this game with the lack of shots falling.
Ellie Turner playing with 3 fouls. Able to lose the defender there, but missed the shot. There's another offensive rebound. Turner will try again, but another miss. And Glancy pulled down the rebound and draws a foul.
Well, that was a cheap one there, one that Hale did not have to do. And now, by virtue of that, Broncos going to the free throw line in the bonus for the last 4:03 of this quarter.
And Glancy, an 84% foul shooter, will benefit.
Bulldogs foul 23 Jaden Hale. Her first 15.
Glancy leading all scorers with 14 points here today. And this is the first.
Sophie Glancy at the line, 1 shot remaining.
2-time first team All Big Sky at Northern Arizona. Followed Lori Payne here to Santa Clara. And could be headed towards all conference honors in the WCC this season. Broncos by 7. Their largest lead today has been 8, which they enjoyed back in the second quarter. Here's Betancourt, blocked out of bounds by Glancy.
Both Lisa Fortier and Craig Fortier are really ticked off right now with official Scott Osborne. They want some calls underneath. And it's getting on the verge, I believe, of warning territory.
Glancy also the 3rd most blocks in the conference. Whitaker, and there is a whistle and a foul.
Yeah, they're going to get Kate shot on the backside. Really was hand in the cookie jar style on that one.
That's her first, second team.
Get another look at it here. See, look, Whitaker, nice seal. And then shot, obviously, ball comes down and then just tried to stay with it. Just those types of actions are going to get called more often than not.
Whitaker with 12 points, leading all Gonzaga scorers. The leading scorer in the WCC at just over 19 per game. This is the second. Schmidt with a rebound. Broncos ball up 6. Hooker with it now. Bounce pass to a cutting Glancy, rolls off, but she's headed back to the free throw line.
Everything but the bucket on that one, but a nice set from the Broncos. Kind of similar to what we've seen from some of the ball movement of the Zags. Broncos taking what the defense gives them. Glancy going on the wraparound.
In for Turner,
And that is the 4th foul on Allie Turner.
Oh boy. And immediately to the bench. And it's going to be a treacherous 3:28 for the Zags.
We'll see how Lisa Fortier plays it. Foul trouble for her standout sophomore point guard. And when does she go back to Turner? Score may dictate that.
It's similar to what happened last. Yvonne Ejim was in foul trouble last year, and that's why that game really got stuck in neutral and into the mud. So similar circumstances for the Zags. Can they find enough to dig deep and stay in it with her on the bench?
Bronco foul 13, Ava Schmidt.
That foul will be on Ava Schmidt, her second. Just the 13th foul in the quarter. On the Santa Clara side, so an inbounds for Gonzaga as Hawkins back in for shot. This is Gardner. A lot of reserves on the floor right now. On the Gonzaga side, Whitaker's pass towards the corner is knocked out of bounds by Maya Jones.
The Zags have been running that action consistently in the second half. That snap pass over the corner, kind of with a somewhat of an elevator screen, just to make that Bronco defender take an extra second around in hopes of getting that corner three.
Inbounds in the corner. Wilson gets turned away, leaves it for Whitaker. The double team comes, finds the open teammate. Betancourt missing the three. A Gonzaga offensive rebound. Hale corrals it. Betancourt this time stepping inside the arc. Shot rolls off. Another offensive rebound. And this time it's Hale with her first points.
Full credit to the Zags for continuing to fight on the glass right there. Ava Schmidt. First shot from the field.
Needed there for Ava Schmidt, a top three-point shooter on this Santa Clara team. Her first made three of the day. More great Gonzaga offense. Whitaker frees herself for the layup. That Schmidt three briefly gave Santa Clara their largest lead. Now up by 7. Coming up on the 2-minute mark in the third quarter. Jones around the screen, tried to hit Glancy, and the pass knocked out of bounds.
Who's 48 going to get? Taylor Smith and Paige Lothing back out on the floor. And you think that last pass by Whitaker, it doesn't become as impactful if you can grab those offensive rebounds on the defensive rebounds rather on the possessions before then. Gonzaga just continuing to hound the glass to the tune of 14 offensive rebounds.
Here's Glancy turning away. Couldn't get it to go, and a rebound for Betancourt. Whitaker will swing it. Gonzaga with the ball down 7. Lothing, the freshman, haven't seen a lot of her today. In there now, passing into the double team. Hawkins is on the floor, and Glancy comes away with it. 17 Gonzaga turnovers. Hawkins missed the three long. Rebound tap. Glancy's got it. Glancy underneath. No whistle. Schmidt missing. And finally Gonzaga comes away with it. Betancourt stepping through. Missed the shot. And we get a foul on the rebound. It'll be on Gonzaga.
Not the most beautiful of chaos this last minute or so from both teams. Both teams a little bit out of their comfort zones right now. Broncos kind of rushing themselves on offense. That Glancy hook that Schmidt put back. Similar for the Zags getting down the court with Betancourt.
Foul was on Wilson, her first. And with Gonzaga over the limit, they come back to the other side of the floor, and free throws for Kylie Fox. 13 points now for Fox, one of 3 Broncos in double figures, joining Glancy's 15 and Jones's 10. And there's that 9-point lead again for Santa Clara, nearing the final minute of the third quarter. Broncos have had the lead since about the midpoint of the first quarter. Been able to push back whenever Gonzaga has gone on a mini run. Lothing still with it, 5 to shoot, gets it back. She'll try the 3, missed it. Delaney Miller will rebound, and she's fouled.
Old Zag bench erupted as if, how could you call that one? I'd have to see another look at it. Here it is provided. Lothing on the deep 3, couldn't get it to go. They had a little bit of right wrist from Wilson. I I feel like for Lisa 48, it's not really about that specific foul. It's probably about the whistle on Allie Turner so far this afternoon.
Gonzaga right now playing without their terrific point guard. Turner with those 4 fouls on the bench. Second free throw coming here for Delaney Miller. And her first point of the day gives Santa Clara their first double-digit lead. Final 39 seconds of the quarter.
Real big swing point here these last 39 seconds. Can Gonzaga get it down to 7 or less? Can the Broncos get it to potentially 13 or more? It's a big fork in the road for both teams.
Broncos applying some pressure. Gonzaga gets it across the timeline. Here's an open 3. And from the wing, it's Gardner.
One of the other Zag shooters, one of only 2 people, the other being Turner, to make 20-plus threes on the season. And Lori Payne threw her hands up in frustration as if, why is that the player that's open?
Yeah, Gardner shoots it at 49% from three-point range. Broncos holding for the final shot. Hawkins leaves it for Gildersleeve-Styles. Missed the contested shot. And then we get a held ball, which will keep it here with Santa Clara. 4/10 of a second remaining.
So you do get a chance to do catch and shoot, but it's got to be as quick as it can be.
Hawkins throws it up. And a good effort from Miller. Comes up empty. So Gonzaga does get that big three-pointer on their final possession of the third. Brings the Zags within 7. 1 quarter remains here in Santa Clara. Getting ready to start the 4th quarter. This game has been as advertised between 2 of the top teams in this WCC. Santa Clara with a 59-52 lead. Question now on the Gonzaga side, when do the Zags bring Allie Turner back in? She's on the bench to start this 4th quarter with those 4 fouls. Whittaker also on the bench to start the 4th. So it's Alcuso. Offense running through the junior St. Mary's transfer. But she gets Gonzaga to within 5.
Making things happen, just have to find a way, especially with this unit, as you mentioned, out on the floor. And this first 2 minutes will tell us a lot about what Lisa 48 is thinking about Allie Turner's minutes.
Here's Hawkins. Hawkins has 10 assists in this game. Gets it back, drops it down for Glancy. Missed the shot. Fox had a good look on a putback, but she couldn't get it to go.
Those are the ones you're going to want back, especially in a tight game like this. Gonzaga has the turnover. Santa Clara's missed some bunnies.
Minute gone by in the 4th. Santa Clara just 1 loss on this floor this year. That was to Arizona State as that one rolls off from Smith. And we get a travel underneath as Jones came down with the basketball. It'll be Gonzaga ball.
A nice pass there from Dalen Smith. Everything but the bucket there. Get another look. More or less friendly fire as Jones hit the deck.
5 points, Santa Clara lead. Gonzaga will set something up. Here is a deep 3 from Gardner. Missed it short. Broncos looking for their first points of the 4th. Hawkins driving by the defender and a finish.
Hawkins only 2 of 11 previous to that shot, but still aggressive, unabated to the rim, taking what the defense gives her.
She's a point away from a double-double. Hoping getting some minutes here late for Gonzaga. Their freshman point guard. Alcuso looking for the whistle, and she gets it.
I think kind of similar to the first quarter, Jones just about a half step too far, eventually moving point A to B as Alcuso rose up. Get another look, going step for step with her, but then just that last little lunge you see right there.
At the line for Bulldogs, see Alcuso.
Gonzaga is going to get Whittaker back on the floor here. As Alcuso, a 70% free throw shooter, makes the first. Gonzaga shooting it at 40% from the floor. They're still plus 13 in the rebounding margin. Big issue for the Zags today is they've committed 17 turnovers. Although only 4 of those in the second half. Broncos swing it into the corner. Kylie Fox for 3.
And a great pass there from Maya Jones. She could have had the open 3 herself, but the unselfish play, Kylie Fox paying that one off well.
Third made 3 for Fox. She leads all scorers now with 17. Broncos up 8. Betancourt getting cut off. Now an entry pass, Whitaker over the double team, blocked.
A Kiwi against a Kiwi there. Maya Jones getting the rejection against her fellow countrywoman.
Jones now.
That was ambitious.
Long 3, well short.
But Joe, you talk about that turnovers, and while Gonzaga's done a lot better job this half, I think the cumulative effect in the fast break points, 21-3 in favor of the Broncos. You can see where that pays dividends.
High low, deny the elbow.
Coming up on 7 minutes remaining as Ava Schmidt pokes that one out of bounds. Broncos led by 5 at halftime. Their largest lead, 10, which was very late in the third quarter. Right now up by 8. Whitaker underneath, and she's fouled. That'll be on Gildersleeve Styles, and Whitaker 4 of 5 from the free throw line today. We'll get 2 more.
And just another sequence for Santa Clara. It's good to be all up in somebody's grill, but just too much, not really giving them the cylinder space to continue and finish through their motion naturally.
Whitaker a rebound away from a double-double, sitting on 14 points, 9 boards.
It feels like Lisa Fortier is just trying to go minute by minute here in regards to getting Allie Turner on the floor. Still has not gotten up from that bench.
Whitaker splits the free throws as Jaden Hale will come back in on the Gonzaga side.
Is number 23, Jaden Hale.
And speaking of the devil, Allie Turner coming to the scorer's table.
So, inside of 7 minutes, Gonzaga will get their point guard back on the floor as Kylie Fox called for the charge.
The Zags switched back to that zone defense, and it gave Santa Clara some problems in a vacuum in the first half, and right there, Kylie Fox expecting that defender to go away. And I believe it was Hale who drew that charge. See right there, nice step up, in position, right call.
Second foul on Fox. Turner back in now for Gonzaga, with the Bulldogs down by 7. Mancuso missed the shot. Offensive rebound. Gardner in the corner, hits a 3.
Wow, that was a quick release, and that's the burden you have when if you're Santa Clara. You keep giving up second chance opportunities. Taryn Gardner making the Broncos pay.
Kylie Fox trying to answer. Missed the corner 3, and it's out of bounds. Will stay here with Santa Clara.
Gardner's had a nice lift here in the second half. All 6 of her points. Talk about her sharp shooting ability, coming in shooting 49% from beyond the arc. Secondary scoring, that's what they need, especially you think about it even with Allie Turner on the floor, but all that time that she was spent on the bench with foul trouble, it magnifies that much more.
Broncos get Glancy and Jones back on the floor here. The lead's down to 4. Hawkins, nice move. Finishing off the glass, and she's got her double-double.
A nice show and go there, and a nice ball fake down the lane. Ashley Hawkins using her veteranship to her advantage down there.
11 points, 10 assists today for the Broncos point guard. That was a needed basket to get the lead up to 6. Whitaker taking charge, finishing. Back to a 4-point game.
Nice move off the bounce, no less. So nimble, has the size advantage over Sophie Glancy, and got it off with the offhand before Schmidt could get over.
Broncos swing it into the corner. Ava Schmidt way long on the three. Zags looking to further cut into that Santa Clara lead. And there's more great defense from Anaya Hooker.
Number 8, Ian Schmidt for back
Alcuso coming up a little bit gimpy as she heads to the bench. You see right here, get another look at it. She takes the spill and
Gardner stepping inside the arc, goes to Whitaker, and she's fouled. A lot of ball there.
Okay, Glancy. So Schmidt was the one who met her up top with the block, but they're getting Sophie Glancy. So Whitaker going back to the line, 5 of 7 so far. You get another look at it here. So they're calling this on Glancy on the backside. A little bit of elbow. We'll leave it up to you if you think they got it right.
Second foul on Glancy. Whitaker makes the first free throw. Whitaker with her double-double, 18 and 10.
One shot made.
She has made it now a 2-point game.
And massive credit to all the Zags for continuing to rally with Allie Turner on the bench. They could have easily gotten away from them. They just continue to chip away at it, stay in the game, and that's by virtue of that rebounding margin.
Where does Santa Clara go? Hawkins into the corner, Schmidt. Schmidt missing a three. She's just 1 of 6 from three-point range today. Gonzaga could tie or take the lead with a three, but a turnover. Anaya Hooker doing her thing, leaves it for Hawkins, 4-3, big shot for the Broncos.
Big time shot from a big time player who's done it in big time moments throughout her career. Ashley Hawkins added another here down the stretch.
The Big South Player of the Year a season ago, making her mark now on the West Coast. And maybe her best game here as a Bronco. Turner underneath, defended well, but the ball ends up right back in her hands, but she converts the layup.
Santa Clara's got to grab these rebounds. The team rebounding has not been up to par today, and too many times they're not going up strong enough for these boards.
Schmidt still shooting. Missed that corner three. Inside of 4 minutes to go. Long time without a whistle here. Santa Clara's up 3. Turner, the nifty ball handling. Gardner gets it down low to Whitaker, and one. And an opportunity with a free throw to tie this game.
Whitaker up to now over a game-high 21 points, using the gamble that Glancy took for the steal against the Broncos, and now Hooker trying to, she can't size up against Whitaker. Gonzaga can tie it on the other side.
Should be a big finish here in Santa Clara. And for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, it's their redshirt freshman forward, Lauren Whitaker, who has been asserting herself in this fourth quarter.
And why, just think of what she's learned from her redshirt year now, and working her way off the dribble in the paint, even stretching it out from both from Yvonne Egypt and Maud Hybens. To think of that lineage of what they've done in the post for Gonzaga over the years, and now what Lauren Whitaker has stepped into and taken with confidence, no less. Off a redshirt, you can ease your way in, think, okay, what do I have to do here? How can I get accustomed? No, she's gone full steam ahead, and with good reason, with good confidence, now up to a game-high 21 and a chance to tie it up.
Lauren Whitaker at the line for Gonzaga.
Made that shot before the timeout. And now here she is at the free throw line. Cannot tie it up. Glancy with the rebound. So Santa Clara keeps the lead up 1. Approaching 3.5 remaining here in regulation. Only meeting of the regular season between Santa Clara and Gonzaga. Two teams expected to contend for top spots in the conference. Here's Maya Jones through some contact. Count it! And the foul.
Great aggression there from Maya Jones, going off the bounce, known for her game beyond the arc. Getting Hale to be out of position eventually down here on the block. Going off balance, away from the basket. Good touch.
Officials are going to double check here on who the foul should be on.
Yeah, they gave it to Whittaker for whatever reason, and then it was actually Hale.
So take the foul away from 33, give it to 23. And a three-point opportunity for Maya Jones. She converts. Jones with 13. Santa Clara's got a 4-point lead. Here's Turner playing with those 4 fouls. Still with a dribble. Gardner, big-time shooters, hit a couple of threes late. Gets it back. 10 to shoot. Now it's Betancourt. 6 on the shot clock. Has to create with 3 to shoot. Contested shot, and Santa Clara comes away with it. Excellent defensive stand there for the Broncos. And now they've got the ball up by 4. Here's Jones. She's going to try the 3. It rims out. And we're going to get a foul on the rebound against Gonzaga.
Lisa Fortier clamoring that it was a flop from Kylie Fox to no avail. Getting Hale in the displacement of Fox. Get another look at it. Jones with the deep 3. A little bit of a clear out. Both sides may have a point on that one.
3rd foul on Hale. Just the 2nd team foul in the quarter on Gonzaga. So an inbounds for Santa Clara. And as Jones was making her move, we're going to get an offensive foul away from the ball.
Those are the ones that will drive you crazy as a coach. You just have to sit there on the screen. These possessions are too big to be trying to get away with these little nip and tucks.
And it's on Hooker, which is her 4th. First Bronco with 4 fouls today. And we're going back the other way now. And a foul on Gardner away from the ball.
Well, if I mentioned before, literally just a few seconds ago, that those fouls will drive coaches crazy, I think both head coaches are none too pleased with the way these offensive possessions have been going.
Still a 4-point Santa Clara advantage. Big game here early in the conference season. Hawkins putting it on the floor. Finds Jones in the corner. Missed the 3 long. Gonzaga rebound. Alcuso quickly into the front court. And gets it to go. Plus a foul. That's going to end the afternoon for Anaya Hooker. She will foul out.
What a great take there from Alcuso. I mean, didn't even have the numbers. 1 on 3 going the other way. Splits the double there. Right to the rack. Counted and 1.
Some big shots in the second half for Alcuso. She's up to 12 points in this game. 2 of 2 from the line. A free throw here to try and make it a 1-point game again. And she does it. 72-71 Santa Clara.
And it's those little things that have bitten the Broncos. Grabbing the ball, going up strong on the rebounding side. Not stopping the ball there in transition, even when you have the numbers. These things matter in these close games.
Hawkins will kick it out to Glancy. Glancy puts it on the floor. Good look. Rimmed out. And now Gonzaga a chance to take a lead. Lisa Fortier is trying to call a timeout.
Boy, she called it about 4 separate times. That Zach Bentz has a point and then some on that one. I mean, I think you could have heard that one from San Francisco.
Well, they do get the timeout with 1:24 left. Look at the coach.
You think she's calling timeout? I think she's calling timeout. But all things considered, you got a one point deficit. You got the ball. And Joe, it seems too simple right now. Allie Turner and Lauren Whitaker, the action has to go through one of, if not both of them.
Gonzaga hasn't led in this game since about midway through the first quarter. Santa Clara's largest advantage was 10 late in the third. They've been able to keep Gonzaga at bay this entire second half, but now a critical possession. Where will the Zags go? This is Hale at the free throw line. Picks up her dribble, 10 to shoot. Back to Turner, 6 on the shot clock. Around the screen, 3 to shoot. Turner turns the corner, missed the layup. Alcuso, the offensive rebound. She missed. Another Gonzaga rebound. And it's out of bounds, going to Santa Clara with 58 seconds left.
Boy, lots to unpack on that one. Zags continuing to crash the glass. Santa Clara has struggled all day with trying to secure these defensive rebounds. Zags putting the pressure on it, but Hale just brought the ball down low. It's an epidemic in the post. Don't bring the ball down. Anybody can get their hands in the cookie jar.
Broncos can go 2 for 1 here. Leading by a point. Hawkins, she'll dribble it out. 43 seconds left. Goes away from the screen from Glancy. Hawkins picking up the dribble, trying to leave it for Glancy, and that'll be a Gonzaga foul. It'll just be their 4th team foul, though.
33, Lauren Whitaker.
It does limit the 2 for 1 timing. With that shot clock resetting to 20, only that 6-second difference between what would be a full shot clock.
36 seconds on the game clock. Back in the hands of Ashley Hawkins. Hawkins picks up the dribble, finds Maya Jones. Jones going baseline, and a strong finish.
What a finish from Maya Jones. Usually from beyond the arc, this time it's cash money. Maya going to the rack and getting through the contact, finding a way to contort her body and get it to go.
Timeout called with 22.6 remaining. Santa Clara up 3.
See right there, Akuza wanted the steal, used that leverage against her. Through her fellow countrywoman and Whitaker. Bit of a car crash in the paint. Jones gets it to go.
30-second timeout.
Short timeout called by Gonzaga.
And with 22.6 left, and people will raise the question, do you go 2, 3? I know this is vague, guys. I know I'm leaving you on a cliffhanger here, but best shot available, no matter what. Don't need to force a 3, not at all. If you get a layup available with 18 seconds, take it.
Well, of note, Gonzaga just one more timeout. Of course, advance the ball into the front court here late in the game.
Meanwhile, the Broncos, they got their full allotment of 4.
They do. Gonzaga can do it only one more time, though. Crusoe will inbound from in front of her bench. Gets it to Turner. Zags down 3. Back in the hands of Alcuso. Guarded by Jones. And an offensive foul away from the ball. Whitaker on the screen. It's going back to Santa Clara with 16.3 left.
Oh boy, Bronco bench has been claiming for illegal screen call just about the whole afternoon, and boy, they got one right when it mattered, as Lori Payne is going to use the first of her timeouts and advance the ball here to our side. And you think, Joe, in these last few minutes, that's 3 separate illegal screen calls between these 2 teams. We get another look at it. Whitaker's going to try and get this, set the pick for Allie Turner coming on the wraparound. Fox coming around, yeah, just stepped a little too late. Didn't get fully set. That's all it takes.
Third foul on Whitaker. Santa Clara's last win over Gonzaga, it was on this floor February of 2023, 3 seasons ago.
That was a nationally ranked Gonzaga team at the time. And Zags have won 9 of 10 in this matchup and have dominated over the years. So it could be a big-time win for Santa Clara and Lori Payne, and trying to announce her presence more than she already has into this new conference.
Well, how much time here can you go for that steal if you're Gonzaga before having to commit that foul.
He could realistically give it till about the 12-second mark, maybe into the 10-second mark, because with that three-point lead, it's not as if you're up 2 and you can afford a split pair of free throws. Santa Clara can't put you on the back foot here if they can get up 2 scores.
I think you're right. Foul's going to have to come relatively quickly.
Jump ball arrow is with Santa Clara as well.
Maya Jones is going to inbound it. Broncos with a 3-point lead, gets it into the hands of Ashley Hawkins, and the foul given almost immediately with 15.3 left.
Lisa Fortier brought in Cristabel Osa-Robo in the game, but didn't need her services on that one. Gardner shook by Hawkins. And depending on what Hawkins does with these free throws, it really becomes a big-time question. Does Lisa Fortier use that last time out now?
Hawkins 2 of 2 at the line. A 76% foul shooter. And that first one was perfect.
That was the one that Joey needed to be like, hold on.
2 of 2 for Hawkins, and Gonzaga will use that final timeout. Santa Clara has opened back up a 5-point lead with 15.3 seconds left.
Full timeout, Gonzaga.
Realistically, you could still take a 2 to get it back within 1 score, but if I was Gonzaga, I'd try to use Whittaker on a screen to try and free up extra space for either Gardner or Turner. They've been using that snap action earlier in the game where they were getting into the corner and having someone just kind of standing in the mid-range to force a defender to take an extra second. I want to kind of see more of that here in this specific set. Can they get Whittaker to force maybe someone like Ashley Hawkins to wrap around and try and chase Allie Turner, and Turner gets a 3 off?
Gonzaga, they closed to within a point and had possession and some great looks. Down by 1, but came away empty-handed. Maya Jones hit the big bucket a few moments ago for Santa Clara. The offensive foul. Hawkins then the 2 free throws to get it back to a 5-point margin. And now can Santa Clara finish? Trying to hand Gonzaga their first conference loss this season.
Broncos out with their starting 5 out of the huddle for the Zags. Turner, Gardner, the 2 sharpshooters, Alcuzo, Hale, and Whittaker.
Turner's going to inbound. 15 seconds left. Quickly into Whittaker. Back to Turner. She'll try the 3. Missed it way short. Alcuzo, though, right there for the offensive rebound. And that gets it back to a 1-possession game with 8.2 left. And Santa Clara is going to use a short timeout here to advance the ball.
Turner had some space on that step back. That could just as easily gone down right there. Inish Betancourt is going to check in for the Zags here on this sequence. But once again, Joe, what do we keep talking about? Rebounding. It matters so much. 19 offensive rebounds for the Zags. Those second chance points. We talked about turning those opportunities into actual conversions. Now they got 16 overall for the game, including 12 of them being in this half. That's what happens. You can cut down on your turnovers.
Well, I would imagine the Broncos would like to get the ball in the hands of Ashley Hawkins. Just made those 2 free throws. Jones and Glancy also shooted it better than 80% from the free throw line. Kylie Fox is up at 90%. They're all on the floor right now for Santa Clara. First got to get it in. And the timeout is called. Man, that was close.
Zach Benson wanted that 5-second call. They will not get it. And I think the big thing is about Santa Clara, they have not won a game by single digits this season, so this is a leverage spot that the Zags have been in all season. This is not a spot Santa Clara has been in succeed. They had the close loss at home against Arizona State. We talked about the road loss at LMU where they're really fighting from the back foot. How can you close out a clutch situation? This is a question that the Broncos have not answered yet so far this season.
It is a good point. There is a lot of experience on the floor on that Santa Clara side. And they're leaning on that here in these final few seconds. Broncos still have 1 timeout remaining. Gonzaga is out of timeouts. And the possession arrow is with Santa Clara. Jones gets it to Schmidt, right back to Jones. And Gonzaga gives the foul with 6.4 left. Schmidt was the one they wanted to foul, a 65% free throw shooter. Instead, it's Maya Jones at 82%. Needs just one free throw here to make it a 2-possession game. Jones 1 of 1 at the line today. And she misses.
That's what we talk about, clutch moments. What can you do when this matters so much? Can you feel that pressure on you?
If she misses, does Santa Clara foul up 3?
Well, if anybody of you saw the other Bay Area game between Cal and Notre Dame this week, you got to make sure you do foul, very adamantly so.
And she does miss, but it's Ava Schmidt with the offensive rebound.
My goodness.
She's fouled with 4.3 left.
Everything that Santa Clara didn't want that eventually turned great for them, and Zach bench, a stunned silence over on the other side. They couldn't believe that. Of all the good rebounding they've done today, this was the one they couldn't secure.
Maybe a game-saving offensive rebound. Broncos still need a free throw. Schmidt at 65% for the year. She's got it. And it's a 2-possession game.
And because of that, Zags have half the time they initially thought they would have. Now down to 4.3.
Misses the second. Zags running out of time. And that will do it. The Santa Clara Broncos knock off the Gonzaga Bulldogs here at the Levy Center. A big win for Lori Payne and this Broncos team, 77-73 the final.
Took some of the words right out of my mouth. Signature win right there. That's the way to announce yourself as right up and taking them to the brim. One of the perennial powers in West Coast Conference play over the last few decades. It's a good win for Santa Clara over a very good Gonzaga team that's still trying to make their way. And even with a bunch of star players and Lauren Whittaker and Allie Turner stepping up, Santa Clara withstood a lot of those runs.
Gonzaga didn't lead after the first quarter in this game. Broncos bounced back from the loss down at LMU a couple of days ago and improved their conference record to 3-1, matching Gonzaga, who falls to 3-1. And a very happy Santa Clara team coming together at center court. This is certainly one to celebrate.
I was going to say, you think they don't look so happy right now? That's a signature win. That's one that will pay dividends down the line. The two highest rated net teams in this conference, 62 and 71 respectively. Santa Clara stands tall on home court, find a way to get it done when it counts, and full credit to Gonzaga for continuing to fight, for continuing to assert themselves on the glass. It took a lot for the Broncos to get it done.
How about Ava Schmidt? Ended up 1 of 10 from the floor, but a game-saving offensive rebound, and the free throw sealed it.
When there's a will, there's a way. The one starter not in double figures, Ava Schmidt, making winning plays. That's what matters.
All right, our play of the game here this afternoon, sponsored by Rabbit Automation.
All right, Lori.
And there was a lot to choose from here today at the Levy Center. Santa Clara got pushed several times by the Gonzaga Bulldogs, but late it was Maya Jones asserting herself and hitting that big bucket. A little under 30 seconds remaining. That made it a 3-point Santa Clara lead. And the Broncos would eventually win it by the final of 77-73 here at the Levy Center. All right, joined now courtside by a very happy Santa Clara head coach, Lori Payne. My partner, Thomas Judd, just finished saying, look, this feels like a signature win. Gonzaga, they have set the standard in this conference for 20 years. And in your first Santa Clara-Gonzaga matchup, your group comes away with a victory. How would you size up this win today?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Lisa has done a phenomenal job. She just got her 300th win. And she is the standard, and Gonzaga is the standard. And, you know, we knew that we had a team that could compete. And I think with the unbalanced schedule, we don't get to go back up there. So we knew this was our one shot at them. And we knew that it was a really important win for us to get down, you know, when you talk about down the road and standings and all that stuff. But for us to win on our home court and bounce back from a tough loss at LMU, like, that's been something that I'm so proud of the team. Every time we've taken a loss this year, we've bounced back, and the resilience of this group is pretty impressive.
You're not going to complain about convincing wins. There were a lot of them in the non-conference. I mean, all 10 of the non-conference wins were by double figures. You kept that going in your first 2 WCC games. You haven't actually played in a lot of games here where you get down to the last minute or two, and it's truly hanging in the balance. You had to finish here against a very talented team. What did you learn about your team today with how they got this done late?
Yeah, we talked about that. We didn't get any end-of-game work, much in the non-conference, and that's tough going into conference when we knew there's going to be a lot of close games. And that was what we were trying to articulate to our team, is that there's going to be a lot more close games and blowouts, and for us to be able to have the poise and composure, we've been doing a lot of things in practice to try to simulate those type of end-of-game stress situations, and I felt like we definitely had that composure at the end that we needed.
Well, you speak of composure, and it helps to have a fifth-year point guard.
Yeah.
And the game today for Ashley Hawkins, 11 assists, 16 points, but also no turnovers.
Yeah.
11 assists to no turnovers in about 35 minutes. The way she controlled the game, how would you evaluate her effort today?
That kid is a phenomenal point guard. She is truly an extension of us on the court, and she handles it with poise, with grace. She makes the right decisions 99% of the time. Just to have the ball in her hands at an end-of-game situation, feel very, very confident and comfortable with that.
All right, well, now where do you go from here? You get this third win in conference play, your 13th win overall, and you've got now road games coming up, a couple here over the next week, and a lot of big games. I mean, you get this one here, but there's more ahead for this team.
Yeah, every game is a big game in conference, so we go up to USF this week, and then take a flight up north to Washington State, who's both are very, very good teams. I know the LMU San Francisco game is about to start, so we'll be eagerly tuning into that. But this conference is tough. There's a lot of parity in it. There's a lot of talent, and on any given night, anyone can beat anyone. So, it's our job to take care of our business, and we did that today.
All right, well, Coach, go enjoy this with your team, and best of luck on the road trip.
Thank you.
All right, that's Santa Clara head coach Lori Payne as the Broncos win it 77-73 here over the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Santa Clara now 3-1 in conference play, 13-4 overall. And look, it was close. It came down to the final few seconds. Santa Clara led from about mid-first quarter through the rest of the game. Every time Gonzaga made a little push, as we're going to look back at some of the highlights of this win, Santa Clara with their veteran team and playing a rare close game where they needed to finish off a game with a slim lead, they got it done.
Gritty, not pretty on full display right there. Santa Clara dug deep right there. Only shot 10 of 34 from the field in the second half, but you got to find ways to make it happen. Sophie Glancy doing it on the defensive end. Anaya Hooker, a game where the stats, she won't necessarily do her justice. You think going forward for the Zags, they had a bunch of their players step up. Hale down underneath, Dalen at times, and eventually even Taryn Gardner as Gonzaga teachers just try and find a way without Allie Turner on the floor for the bulk of the second half. How about Zia Kuzo in her fourth quarter? So lots of things to like from both teams. Couldn't have two winners today, and a well-fought game from both squads, and the Broncos eventually doing just enough to get out on top.
Santa Clara, when they needed a big bucket in that final half minute, and you get the ball in the hands of Ashley Hawkins. She eventually found Maya Jones for that contested layup, which got it back up to a three-point game. And then the enormous offensive rebound off the missed free throw from Ava Schmidt. She doesn't grab that rebound. Gonzaga is going to have it down 3 and one last opportunity to try and send the game to overtime. Instead, pulls down the offensive rebound, makes the free throw. Broncos win it by 4. There's the Maya Jones layup inside of 30 seconds left. And the Broncos ultimately get it done here today at the Levy Center for Santa Clara. It's their first win over this Gonzaga program in 3 seasons, and this will certainly be one to celebrate for this Broncos squad. The final stat here in today's game, the shooting percentage actually dropped considerably for Santa Clara in that second half. They ended up at just 37%, but got it done at the free throw line, 16 of 21, plus those 11 made threes, withstood the rebounding difference, and took care of the ball. Only 7 turnovers today for Santa Clara.
And you felt some of that toughness. I mentioned at halftime that rebounding margin, it was not sustainable. And at a certain point, it almost became unsustainable. You just became a minus 19 for the game overall. Gonzaga cut down on their turnovers, 13 in the first half, only 7 in the second half. But just those clutch plays over the course of time, Santa Clara found a way.
So Gonzaga, they're heading back home. They'll welcome in Portland 6 days from now. Santa Clara heading on the road. Next matchup for them will be against University of San Francisco.